Our next guest is Vukosi Meravate, who's currently a graduate student in computer science. He studies machine learning, but he's also a keen observer of the impact of technology on world cultures. He's been an intern at several different technology companies, and he's going to share some of his experiences with us.
We have with us Vukosi Meravate. Vukosi lives in South Africa, and he's currently going to graduate school in the United States to get his PhD in computer science. He has interned at a number of different companies, and this summer he interned with a company called Meebo that does some social networking. Can you tell me a little bit about Meebo? What is it that they had been doing, and where are they now?
Meebo was a company that did a couple of things. One was they had a chat app. The other is that they also did advertising through something called the Meebo Bar. And they also then had a new product that was being developed called the Interest Graph to give you news. So you would actually log into the service, put up what your interests are, and you would either be friends with other people on the network, and from there it will actually mine the data that's created by all these people to actually now give you news and information that's relevant to you.
Do you have a sense of what sort of algorithmic work they had to do to support their company?
In most cases, when you're looking at networks, the things that are very interesting to do first is dead simple ways to actually recommend who people should be friends with. So this goes across the spectrum, whether you're on Facebook, you're LinkedIn, you're on Twitter, or you're on Meebo, or maybe Google+. The other things that then become more interesting is finding out who's important in a graph. And this is actually not as simple as just looking at who has the most connections, either has the most followers or the most friends and things like that, but actually who is the person where information flows through. So there are algorithms that actually now try to do this, and people are developing them using different metrics to try and figure out who's important given a topic, let's say. So finding out who's very important given ice cream in California. And those kind of problems normally that require you to do some mathematical modeling of the networks that you have.
Do you have a sense of what a really simple example of an algorithm might be that would determine importance? Maybe not what people are really doing, but something related to it.
One could be looking at given keywords that people use and given who uses those keywords, and then looking at if a person uses that keyword, who then after that let's say, shares that keyword more and more, right? So you're just looking at something, it's called a cascade, how information moves through a network. But if you can look at the origin of where that keyword started and see how fast it grows, maybe, right, or how many people it gets to, then you can then look at them, then go back to figuring out who then is important. So if you could figure out, let's say, who is important in burgers, right, then you could then target advertising towards that person to advertise a new product, and if they spread it, then you can then get to more people, right? So it's different to advertising a burger to be. I probably don't have a lot of people who follow me because of my knowledge of burgers, but there could be other people out there who people follow because of that information. So if you can figure out who those people are, then you can advertise to them and they can spread information. I did a project at Rutgers, one where it tried to figure out who was important given a edutainment TV show. And in this case, I was trying to find out who was important in trying to spread information about HIV. So in this case, it's not about advertising, but it's actually very important in educating people. So if you can figure out who spreads that information well, you can get to more people and you can have more impact.
That seems really important. Yeah, I mean, not just all over the world, right? These issues are taking place. What's your sense of what social networks are like in other countries outside of the United States? Is it similar to the way it is here, or are there variations?
Because of differing bandwidth constraints, you have some social networks being more used in some countries than others. So you have countries that use Twitter because it's very easy to get on, it's very low bandwidth, and also it spreads information very quickly, more quicker than Facebook, and it's open. So obviously everybody knows about the Arab Spring now, and Twitter was very pivotal in that. In some countries, there's other social networks that are very big there that might not be big in the United States. South Africa and most of Africa use something called Mxit, M-X-I-T, which is based in South Africa. It was created there and has a huge user base in South Africa. I think Orkut is still very big in South America, which there was a product by Google, but it's still spreading, and just locally it's very big there.